something. It's called Warhammer, right?
Warhammer, yes.
It's been around for a long time?
It's been around since the 80s.
Are they metal or are they plastic?
They are plastic. They used to be metal, but now they're all plastic.
You painted this.
I did.
And then you play with it?
You paint many of them, and then you play with them with other people.
How many of them?
Depends.
How many did you paint?
Well.
Like more than one?
It's within the confines of the hobby, we call it our grey pile of shame.
You grey pile of shame?
Yeah, because they start off grey, and I have a very large grey pile of shame.
You tell him, Henry. So lucky me, I never once in my life had any inkling of fascination when it came to anything Warhammer. I knew it was there, kind of like Catan or Stratego, you know, it's just lingering in the background of more niche, gatekept nerd stuff. But thanks to Henry Cavill and his steadfast dedication to all that is nerd, and he's very authentic and he puts his heart into what he does, now I'm like fully enveloped. I'm fully fascinated with this whole Warhammer lore. The entry point to it, I didn't know where to start. You know, I asked a few people that were kind of in it. They're like, bro, you're gonna have to dig into this one. You're gonna have to read the books, learn the board game, do some deep dives into lore. Several different starting points. I had no idea. But lucky me, just recently I watched Amazon Prime's Secret Level. I believe these are the creators that did my other favorite show, Love, Death, and Robots, which was on Netflix, and that still is so damn underrated, I think. But this episode, out of all the episodes, is probably my favorite. And I love the fact that you don't have to be a fan to totally be engrossed and utterly blown away by what they did with this. You only knew it was Warhammer due to the title, but this is what is good storytelling. This is what good storytelling is all about. It's show, not tell, and they do a fascinating job with it. So this is my first introduction into Warhammer, and damn. See, right there, this shit is so good. It already reminds me if George Miller, the guy that did Mad Max, if he got like really into 9 Inch Nails, this is what would happen, and I love it. Cool guys don't look at explosions. We just murdered a bunch of alien heathens. Okay, damn, like, that was incredible. That was only a minuscule part of the incredible showcase that episode was. I highly recommend watching the whole thing because, like I said, you don't have to be steeped in the lore to really appreciate what they're doing here. And if this is any indicator, then we're in for a very, very good treat when it comes to whatever Henry's cooking up with the producers. Hopefully. After the amazing work they did on that Amazon Prime Secret Level episode, I was so fascinated I had to go do more research on what else was out there that was in the same sort of vein as far as visual, short, lore-steeped, extravagant, violent awesomeness. And I came across this one right here, A Stardust Project by Sayama Peterson. Now, I probably butchered the name, but anyway, if you go down to the comments on these, I find a lot of people in, my similar boat, Apparently he made one of the best animations people I've ever seen. It's one guy who spent, I think, like 5 years making this. Got into some trouble a little bit by his company he was working for. But here's me, who knows nothing about Warhammer. Wow, this is fucking awesome. Exactly. Reading up about it a little bit, the debacle surrounding Simon Peterson primarily involves Game Workshop's GW. Updated policies on fan-made animations. In 2021, it introduced a zero-tolerance stance on fan animations, stating that individuals must not create such content based on their settings and characters without a license. This move was perceived by many as an attempt to centralize and monetize Warhammer-related content, especially with the launch of their streaming service, Warhammer Plus, which we'll get to in a second. Notably, GW hired Peterson, the creator of the acclaimed fan series The Star Days, to produce official content for them. While this collaboration was a significant endorsement of his talent, it also highlighted GW's broader strategy to bring popular fan work under their official umbrella, leading to debates within the community about balance between protecting intellectual property and supporting fan creativity. So, it's an IP thing. The guy put out something completely badass, but there was a corporate stranglehold on what he could do with it. Yeah, that's not the first time we've heard about this stuff, but my god, if you have a chance to check it out, highly recommend it. Here's a quick look. One guy did all this. Now, what I love about both of these shorts is that it really showcases the brute force that these Space Marines possess. Like, they're just unstoppable tanks of sheer power, might, and dedication. Slicing through these space dorks like galactic cheese, up until they come across something more supernatural, which thematically, it just works. I'm cool with it. You get to see how cool these guys are, and then they're put to the test. And when you see them either succumb to something more powerful or overcome it, you're happy either way, because the payoff is just so good, and it feels earned. So we can all safely assume that these guys with Tesla dreadlocks are going to be a problem. Leroy Jenkins! I don't want to show too much because it really is worth checking out and watching the whole thing up until the end, because it's just wow. I watched both of those, and again, I was like fiending for more, and then of course I find out there's the video game, which I'm afraid to even get into, and the Warhammer Plus streaming service, which again, wow, okay. I was able to watch episodes 1 through 3 of what they have on that, and that is called Pariah Nexus. Again, on their Warhammer original streaming service, which I didn't even know existed until now. Glad I checked it out. Every single one of these shorts have been nothing short of astounding, so I highly recommend checking them all out, especially if you're just somewhat curious about Warhammer. There's no way in hell I'm gonna catch up with, you know, everyone else who has been locked away painting figurines for 30 years now, but it's a good start.
Chosen chapter.
Chosen chapter?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's okay. Adeptus Custodes, which is, they're not Space Marines, so they're not chapters. If I were to go for a chapter, it would either be, these are before Custodes came out, Blood Angels were my chapter.
Yeah.
And also Salamanders.
Salamanders! It's so funny. After watching that Nexus episode, I'm like a Salamanders fanboy, and I know nothing about this world. But I'm like, Salamanders! Go Salamanders!
They were my two favorites.
See, looking at Cal, I just thought Space Wolves would have been on the agenda, but
I mean,
you know.
Space Wolves are cool, really cool.
And they got Space Wolves.
They are great,
what?
But I'm a bit of a loyalist, even with my own stuff, and so I felt guilty just having 2 chapters. And so you can't then go, oh, okay, I'll be Space Wolves as well.
What am I doing with my life? I'm in my late 30s and I'm about to Google Space Wolves.